Okay, welcome everyone to the official review for Panzer Corps for iPad. This is the latest game from Matrix Games that they just released for the iPad, and we're going to take a look at it, see how it does against the other strategy games that are coming out on the iPad. Jumping into the game. Now, if you are an old Allied General or Panzer General fan like me, this game is going to seem very familiar to you. Although there are probably many of you playing this game that are old Panzer Corps fans from Matrix games. But basically, this is the modern day version of, let's say, Panzer General and Allied General, which I was a big fan of in the 90s. As you can see, loading up the game, it's pretty simple. You got the new game, load game. Before we dive into the game, I just want to show you guys this because this is awesome. This is the online in-game app store here. Now, before the prices boggle your eye, I just want to show you how much content there is in this game, how many campaigns there are. I mean, it's huge. They also got Allied Corps in here, which is basically Allied General, but just a modern day version. As you can see, it has 25 new scenarios, 50 regular and special elite units. But if you give you everything, the top one, at $60, it's pricey. However, look what you're getting. You're getting 10 grand campaigns, over 200 scenarios. I mean, incredible. I have never seen an online in-game app store that has this much content. I mean, that literally can get you to the to the next decade, basically. But yeah, I mean, it's pricey, but hey, you know what? I mean, if you pay for it in installments, like if you do Grand Campaign 41, then 42, and little by little, eventually you spread that over a period of time, it's not going to seem so expensive. But anyway, back to the game. Um, we're going to dive into a new game here. And this is where I was last time. You can choose a campaign here. Obviously, there's about 5 campaigns: tutorial campaign, blitzkrieg, and I dived into a few of them, but I want to actually play scenario because I have one scenario that I would like to play, which is kind of cool. Okay. I didn't even know they had West Coast. Oh, that's cool. I want to play the East Coast here. And of course, this is a fictional scenario. You choose a difficulty level. We'll choose the Allies, Colonel. Yeah, that's fine. So let's get right into it. So as you can see, the game directly, the AI gets first turn here. Oh, my battleship's taking heavy losses there. Ooh, I just lost my battleship. Sunk my battleship! Look at that. So the animations are really cool. I will admit that. The animations look really nice. I like that. So I'm going to wait for the AI to finish its turn, and perhaps I can show you a few things, pros and cons. So besides the animations looking really cool, movement is smooth of the units, so you can see get an idea of where units are moving. It's not like choppy or anything, which is really good. This is where the first problem comes in. When you have a unit going over another unit, it's hard to see. You know, you have -2, but is that -2 for the airplane, or is it -2 for actual? That's an ME-262. Interesting. But basically, the one issue that I've seen in here is basically when you have one unit, an enemy unit going over your unit, and they attack each other, you'll have like -1 or -2, and you're like kind of understanding like, wait, who's -2? Did I take -2, or did the Axis unit take -2? So it's kind of not clear there sometimes, and I wish there was a better way to address that. So as you can see here, if I can find them. Ooh, huge Eastern Seaboard, isn't it? I can't even find the bloody units now. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, I'm at 10, so it must have been the Axis. I guess. I don't even know how to get the axis unit to select here. Oh, okay, here we go. 39th radar, but I don't know. It's not that easy to kind of understand. I know there's an airplane right there. Okay, ME-262. It looks like it has 10 lives. Okay, I have 10 lives. Okay. So obviously it's not that easy to kind of understand who's how many losses you took. Click on this guy here, double click. Okay, 10. So as you can see, I wish there was a better way to kind of identify maybe the top of that hex, showing the strength of the access plane, and then the bottom showing bind. Be kind of neat. Um, but the text is not that big. That was one thing that I noticed when you're having combat, and this is -1 or -2. The text is not easy to see sometimes, and it's going fast, so you got to pay attention because it'll go away really quickly, and there's no way to slow down the combat. As far as I can see, I don't see any option here to slow it down. So that's another thing that I noticed. Um, Now, one big thing that I will mention in this game, this is the full desktop experience. This is not a port. I mean, this is a port of the desktop, but it's the full desktop game. There is no cuts. There's nothing that's like been left out. This is the full, huge Panzer Corps game on the iPad, which is pretty huge. Primarily because a lot of times when games came out that were ports from the desktop, things were left out. One good example is Minecraft. The desktop version of Minecraft, you could play with hundreds or thousands of players on a server and build a whole world. The tablet version, unfortunately, you're kind of stuck by yourself, or if you have people in your Wi-Fi network that want to play, you can, but it's like, what, 3 or 4. This game, it's full on. It's full everything. It's just basically the whole desktop game on your iPad, which is, wow, awesome. And I give big props to Matrix Games for doing that, because there are some top of the line indie developers out there that still have not yet done that. So props for Matrix Games and for doing that, because it's huge. Let's see here. All right, so the next thing I want to show you guys here is as you can see on the right hand side, you have a bunch of icons, UI, and one thing I will say about it is, I mean, it's not that sharp. I mean, as you can see where the middle of I can't really show you here, but on the bottom right, you can see the icons, and on the top middle, you can see some icons there. They're not that great quality. I mean, I can understand what they are, but it doesn't seem screen retina display to me. So it's just a minor thing, but you know, there's certain things that you get when you port over a game and you lose some quality in the icons, and I can understand maybe why they did that, because you know, you kind of try to take a huge game and try to fit it on a tablet that doesn't have as much space as a desktop, but just a minor little thing. The one thing I did notice is the map is not as fluid as I would like it. It's okay, it's passable, but as you can see, I don't know what it is, but sometimes when you're trying to get it, I mean, it's passable, but it's not as smooth as other games. I feel like I'm losing frame rate when I'm doing that, but again, you know, that's something that can be fixed with a future software update, and it's not that big of an issue. But when you're kind of doing this and trying to get around it, it doesn't work as well. There we go. So again, the map is not 100% as smooth as I saw in other games, but again, I'm just picking that out there. Combat. Let's do a little combat here. Show you guys what it's going to look like. I don't even know who to choose here. Oh, that's German. Wow, are all these German? Are you kidding me? Really? Oh, I have no navy. That's not good. Let's do some coastal guns. All right. Let's move my tanks close here. Movement smooth. Have some tanks on the coastline here. Let's see what else I can do. Have these for the. Oh wow, that's gonna take out a huge dose of him. These guns come in handy, huh? Let's see. How about him? Now I used him. One thing I will say about this game, it is epic. It's pretty damn epic. Oh wait, that's my. Oh, I have all fleet in the bottom. How about that? That's another thing I noticed. It's hard to sometimes identify which ones are American, which ones are German. You can only tell by kind of where the unit counter is, if it's green in there or if it's gray. And sometimes it's not as easy to kind of identify that. But beautiful. Take them on. Ooh. You know what? Hit him. This brings me back to this brings me back to the 90s. I remember playing this exact scenario basically in the Allied General, and I loved it. I think this is awesome. Got a lot of tanks in the south. So as you can see, this game is pretty dang epic. Controls for units are simple. Click that, and I like the way they did that. You have to click it twice, but that's fine. I mean, that's, it's very smooth. It's not wonky or anything like that. So they did pay a lot of attention to the controls, which is really good. Bring my artillery to bear. Oh, Americans got a lot of tanks. I guess my Air Force is going though. So, as you can see, this game is huge and epic. I mean, look at that. That's huge. That's epic. Let's see if there's any access here. No, okay. I think I got a sub there. Yeah, they're already at the coast. There's nothing I can do. I'm probably going to lose a lot of the territories here. Ooh, I got a plane. Let's go in and rough some stuff up. I think I got another plane back here. Sound effects are really cool. The background music also I do like. Got some B-29s, I think, right? B-26 Marauders. Ooh, and is that a B-29? That's a B-29. That's a Super Fortress, baby. She's coming to do some pounding, if I know what I mean. You probably don't. All right. So I got all my units moving. So let's go over. Oh, I like that. I feel like there's a loss of frame rate doing that. It's not as smooth as I would like it. But I think I had an interview where they said they had to take some of the graphics just to maintain a good frame rate. I am running this on the new iPad Air, so I mean this basically is a 64-bit first 64-bit processor in a tablet, which basically means it's a desktop quality processor. I have no idea what these do here, but I'm just gonna. That's another thing. It's not as I just feel when you add so many buttons, it's just it does more harm than good, because you kind of like, I don't know. That's just me. I think the less buttons, the better. The whole American Air Force is coming into play. All right, good. All right. So let's do one more turn. I just give you a kind of a little bit more on the AI is good in this game. Um, as far as I noticed, I mean, I haven't had any trouble with it. It's not like it stands still. It's actually, wow, that's a massive armada. So basically, I have 3 German armadas. One heading close to Philly, one by New York, and another one by DC. I'm going to try to move the American Navy from the south, trying to hit them as quick and fast as possible, which actually I probably didn't even move half the units I'm supposed to. That's alright, you can take out my support ships, my screening vessels. I'll get the big dogs on you. So again, like, it's hard to see who got the -2. I think, was that him or me? -1. Who got the -1? Him or me? So he got -6 on that one. So like here it's easy because they're in their separate hexes and you can understand them. But when they're over each other, it's kind of difficult. All right. All right, so that's combat right there. As you can see, well, you know what? Let me move in some of these things here. So I'm going to show you a good example of when you have a hex over a hex. So I have an aircraft unit going against the aircraft carrier. They're going to take -7. And I got -6. So I mean, I did that, but if the Axis are attacking me and they did something like that, it's kind of difficult to understand who lost what. I should be focusing on the transports actually. So -6, obviously that's him. Let's see if I can hit this guy. Ooh, -10, that's beautiful. Alright. So as you can see, this game is huge. It's epic. I don't want to go too much into it. Just want to give you guys an idea of what it looks like. But it's huge and epic. And honestly, I can literally play this scenario for probably days on end. Oh wow, they just landed a whole bunch of tanks. That's not good. Oh, got this bloody guy right there. Oh wow, that's not good at all. Get your butts on the road here. I'm gonna have to move these these 2 corps straight north. Move these 5 tank battalions. Jeez, man, there's just so many of them. Hopefully, with some air support, I can rough them up before my infantry and before my armor get there. But as you can see, I'm getting immersed in the game. Diving into a little bit more about the hex quality. It's really nice. As you can see, they put a lot of attention. During the interview, they said they removed some of the quality, but I really can't see it. That really looks nice. Mountains look really nice. Farms. I can tell what everything looks like here. So it's really good. Props to the team for doing that. I'm going to name the developers. There's 2 developers that actually developed this game, and I'm going to give props to them at the end. Because Matrix Games is the publisher, not the developer. But I want to give a specific shout out for 2 developers that made this game. What else can I do? Okay, let's show you some aerial combat here. Wow, it's really cool. So let me just dive into some other things here. Yes. Multiplayer. As I showed you before, I didn't register an account yet. I haven't played multiplayer. I'm a single player guy. Sometimes I do play multiplayer, but I haven't gotten around to do that. And obviously, yeah, I haven't gotten around to do that yet. Um, Library of shop, new game. Just showing you the other aspects here. No, I don't want to play tutorial. Is not installed. You want to purchase it? No, no. Allied Core is now installed. Okay. I only have the basic game. I didn't get the scenarios and such. Maybe I'll do an extra review on that in the future. But just give you a heads up on another game I started. Did Italy. As you can see here, this is the Allied invasion of Sicily and of the Italian boot. As you can see here, I'm losing. Let's do a turn here. I really like the effects. When you have ships bombarding the coast, it really looks cool. I mean, that really looks cool. I mean, it feels kind of epic here. As you can see, my German soldiers are surrounded. I gotta get the Allied Core expansion. I think it's $15, but it's worth it. I mean, honestly, this brings back a lot of memories. Oof. So, I mean, the learning curve of this game is pretty easy. I mean, I literally haven't played Panzer Corps for the desktop. I haven't played Panzer Corps for the desktop, and I got into this game and I was able to play within literally like 5-6 minutes. So it's a great game that you can say, all right, well, I'm going to the DMV and I'm going to be there for 8 hours. I need something. This is a great game to do that with. Or if you're going on a long trip, that's if you're stuck in a hotel for like 2 days. That's a good idea. And what really, and I've said this before, but I need to say this again, I'm really kind of impressed with, is that this is the full game. There's nothing missing, basically, from the desktop version. And I find that really awesome, because I don't have to be glued to a desktop to play, you know, a desktop quality game. You know, we're getting desktop quality games now on mobile devices, which is incredible, man. I mean, the things I can do now. I mean, think about it. If you go on a lunch, you have a 30-minute lunch. You can play Panzer Corps while you're eating lunch at work. How cool is that? You don't have to whip out a whole 10-pound laptop and wait for it to boot, and by the time it does all that stuff, lunch is over, it's time to go back. You can just literally turn this guy on within literally 30 seconds and ready to be in the middle of a move. It's beautiful. Wow. Alright, yeah. Let me do some attacks here, because I set up a fortification. Well, not a fortification really, but wow, they really overran my lines already. How about that? Beautiful. I should have done this first. Let me move here and attack him. One thing I also noticed in this game, there's a lot of times where I take tanks and I go up against infantry, and I'll lose like 5 and they'll lose like 2, which just doesn't sound right. Usually tanks against infantry works out really bad for the infantry. That's one thing that I noticed. This is gonna be good. This is anti-tank. But that's basically Panzer Corps. Honestly, it's a really, really awesome. These are the 2 developers that made it. The lures Game Studio and Flashback Game Studio. So big props to these guys because you guys think outside the box. You know, you guys said, you know what, let's put the whole game on the iPad. And you guys beat a lot of indie studios that should have thought of that first. And I give big props to you guys. But that's Panzer Corps for the iPad. Me personally, I would recommend to buy. I mean, honestly, this is without a doubt a really good addition to a game. It's I think it takes about 1 gig on my iPad, but honestly, 1 gig and you get the full Panzer Corps experience. You could also get Allied General in here, and literally having enough content to play until 2020. So that does it for my review. And I will catch you guys in the next one. I will also probably do mini reviews on the additional campaigns and most likely Allied Corps, but that will come in the future. See you then.